I Love Mortgage Brokering, episode 65.
Where the best mortgage brokers get better. I Love Mortgage Brokering with your host, Scott Peckford.
Hi, Broker Nation. I am thrilled to introduce our guest today. Gord Dahlen is a VP of Retail Banking, National Distribution with CFF Bank. He's been in the mortgage biz for 26 years, is based out of Vancouver, BC, and is involved in CFF Bank, which is Canada's newest Charter One bank expansion across the country. I am stoked about this interview today. Gord, are you ready to rock?
Sure am, Scott.
Awesome. So can you just tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into the mortgage business?
Just like everybody else, I didn't grow up thinking I wanted to be a mortgage, affiliated with mortgage brokers and help manage the process. I wanted to be a cowboy and a fireman, but somehow along the way we got here. Specifically, I was selling stereos in my hometown, Dawson Creek. 1984, I was recruited to go to household finance, turned it down, ended up there finally in a year and a half later in Vancouver in 1985, spent a year and a half, and then jumped over to household trust a little while later. Started to meet mortgage brokers at that point, although it was kind of on the peripheral of the channel. Good friends with Ron Swift, now president of Radius, at that time involved with MCAP, introduced me to Mutual Life of Canada actually at that time. This was 1989 now. And on March the 20th, 1989, I started with Mutual Life of Canada Mortgage Division. And I stayed just over 11 years and I helped grow the MCAP brand, which we introduced to the market in 97. I managed Western Canada from 97 to 2000. I have great memories of building a brand new brand and a brand that's very, very strong and present today. And then I got a call from Dave Nickel and Kevin Clark to come over and talk to Invis and brand new national mortgage broker brand. Super broker was the term coined at the time, and that's where I ended up spending the next 10 or so years. That's quick and dirty how I got started.
That's it. Yeah, so nobody, like you were saying, nobody starts out thinking, "Hey, man, I'm gonna get into lending people money," but we always end up here from somewhere. And so your path obviously has prepared you for the kind of the role that you're in now at CFF Bank, which we'll get to. But before diving into your story, I'd like to ask you about a success quote that's really had an impact on your life or business. I really like quotes because they're portable, they're memorable, and you can take them with you. So can you share a quote that's really had an impact on you?
Well, there's a couple. The one that's written down is my golden rule in business: to listen to your people. And one that really stands out as well. To be successful, you have to have your heart in your business and your business in your heart. Thomas Watson said that, Chairman and CEO of IBM. And for me, in terms of my skill sets and what I've tried to do and the leadership I've tried to convey, I'm passionate about my work, and I think most people in our industry are, but I believe vehemently in the people I work with, enjoy them, and try to create a great environment. And if you put people first, as Watson said, and you have it in your heart, you can usually go a long way.
Mm-hmm. And so this idea of kind of keeping your heart in your business. So you've obviously changed a few businesses or a few different companies over the last few years, which happens, and there's new opportunities. And so what about the CFF brand are you most excited about?
Well, it's funny because CFF actually, what it took me back to, CFF brought me back to fluking into Mutual Life, mind you, but in helping, I was there in 97 when we changed the brand to MCAP, and I was there again in 2000 when we created Invis. And so it's a natural progression. And I was there, those two jobs took me through 22 years, and they were those companies were synergistic. And in terms of where I ended up today, I think everything I've learned, every success I've had, and every ball I've dropped, and because you do experience failure and you do have bumps along the way, but everything I've learned, good and bad, and the experience I've taken from it, culminates today at CFF. We are an old idea that people like Carl Strachey and his original founding group, along with now Peter Vukanovich and our board of directors, have the courage to step up and say that mortgage brokers can do more, and absolutely create a bank. And so we're taking two old ideas, mortgage brokering and banking, and converging them, and it's for me, it's everything I say, everything I've ever learned is all coming together now, and it makes for a great story.
Right. No, that's cool. So one of the things I've noticed talking to people in our business and successful people in the lending business is that failure happens. It's not fatal, but they're looking back, there's always a lesson. So can you share something that you'd failed at and then looking back, the lesson you learned?
Yes, I can. I failed at, I suppose, if I could be a little bit intimate here, I failed at taking in this, under my leadership. I wasn't able to keep the group together. The group that we had sort of, grown up with in the 2000s. We came apart on, we disagreed, and I at first, I tried to say, I tried to justify where I stood on that, and I just what I take out of it today is that I could have done some things better. I should have been deeper in understanding, my partners on the board and so on, where we were to go with that. But again, it's made me a much stronger person in today's configuration in a startup bank. We're less than 100 employees. I sit alone. I'm the sole executive in Western Canada. I'm the sole executive in British Columbia, the sole representative of distribution at executive level in Western Canada. So you got to lean in and do a lot more things. And so, I bring, 5 years later, I bring a lot more experience, and I learned from that setback. We thought we'd go on forever, and we didn't, and I have to take responsibility for that. So that's definitely a failure that I learned from.
Right. Yeah, that's good. It's good to, I know that for me, there's times I'm looking back, I had something that I thought was going to go a certain way and then it didn't. But if you can pick up a lesson from it, it's not wasted, right? And now you're getting to take advantage of some of the stuff in the new startup bank. So, yeah. So, how did you end up at CFF? So you told your story a little bit about how you kind of got your background in banking and lending. So when did you start at CFF?
I started CFF September 13. I spent 2.5 years, positive years with Dominion Lending, working and reporting directly to Gary Morris, the founder of Dominion. And along the way, I just really felt that the time had come. I had put a lot of time, effort, and blood, sweat, and tears. I think I even have a couple of books in me at some point, both about being part of building a super broker and then going to the competition and some of that, some of the feedback I got on that. So it kind of was all pushing back towards. I thought about leaving the industry. I thought about because as sales folks we can find jobs, that kind of thing. But then I thought, no, you know what? I really love this, and I want to find something, but I want to go back to where I started, and I want to get out of the political fray of recruitment and so on. So, and that's where I started to, and with Gary's full knowledge, I decided to look around and still helping Dominion Lending, but trying to figure out something else for the back half of my career, or the last 9 holes, I guess. And I happened on to a fellow by the name of Art Trojan. Anybody over the age of 40-something will know who Art is. He's the founder of Mortgage Intelligence and was a fierce competitor of Invest back when I was working in Invest in Western Canada. And Artie told me to speak to Peter Vukanovich and Carl Stracke, who had this little bank they were firing up. And that was in June of 13. And I made the call and basically talked my way into representing CFF in Western Canada, and that's where I am today.
Yeah, and so when did CFF start? So so obviously Carl had this vision along with a few other guys to create a new bank with a different model. We do the same things but with a different model. And so, and you came in September. When did it actually kind of officially become? The idea was born probably around 2007 on a napkin or whatever, usual. And by 2009, it had been formulated. Canadian First Financial Group was formulated. Canadian First Financial Centres is the sub to the group. Was born with 11 original owners in Ontario, and it was built at that point on a insurance wealth management platform where we were, for the most part, white labeling those disciplines and trying to bring it all into one shop under the Canadian First Financial Centre banner. The tagline, the one that remains today, was do more, keep more, own more. Why can't a broker do more? Why can't we keep more clients? And why couldn't they actually own some of that enterprise? And I haven't really talked about where there's really the value prop, but that's the idea going in, but where it really and we did and we did all right.
But really, it was from '09 on, it was to get the license, to get the bank license. And that process started immediately. And it finally came to fruition. We gained the license at the same time I was calling Peter. We had gotten our bank approval, and that was a tremendous day for CFF, and it changed everything. And all of a sudden, we became bankers, as I like to call us, brokers.
Yeah.
And that day changed everything for us. And we're led by a very formidable group at the board level, and along with Peter Vukanovich and his incredible background, I think it really led us, and of course Carl's tenaciousness and experience as well. It got us to where we need to be. So that's where we were born. Ideas 07, formulated in 09. But really came of age when the bank started in June of 13.
Right. And so what is with all the options available, obviously, in the marketplace, what makes CFF unique? Because there's a lot of different banks. I know one thing that I don't have the same, understanding of this as you, but from what I've heard, getting a bank license in Canada is not an easy task. And do you have any insight on that? Sort of what was involved in actually getting that license?
Well, I wasn't involved in the. There's a lot of back and forth and over a 4-year period. I wasn't involved. In fact, I showed up 2 months after or 3 months after we got the license. But it's a massive business plan. It's obviously capital, and and it was a change in attitude. Like, it was basically saying, we're going to go out to, we obviously we're talking about mortgage brokers, financial planners, perhaps some insurance professionals, where we reverse engineer the model. But at the end of the day, we're basically saying to the regulator, we want to allow mortgage brokers to operate the bank. And here's how we're going to do it, right? Our signs say banking and financial services on it. Like, honestly, Scott, it's the most exciting, even our worst detractor has not explained to anybody in our group why this isn't such an incredible concept to allow mortgage brokers to build a fence around their clients, offer major ancillary products, and not have to send the customer to the competition.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a unique business model that you guys have. And so how's it been going as far as the growth of CFF? So you started in September and probably hit the ground running. And so what's it been looking like over the last 18 months?
Yeah, so we had the original 11 centers, and we started 11 last September. So a year later, from when I started, we were at 11. But we got products out of the factory. We test piloted with garbage and laws, which is the right thing to do in Ontario. And today we sit at 34 centers open. So we've opened up. We've tripled. We're at 34 versus 11 in I guess it was 7 months. And today we have 9 more in the legal process, from right to left, right from the Maritimes, right out to Victoria. So we'll be before the end of June, we'll have 43 centers open, and it puts us in well over $6 billion in production if we were a mortgage network, and 750 agents, and on it goes. 25,000 transactions a year, 250,000 people on database. So it's been phenomenal. It's been a rocket ride for the whole time. And going out from day one, I started at the MBABC in Vernon at Predator Ridge, September 7th, I believe it was, 2013. So I had that first conversation with an individual here in BC, and that individual said to me, I want to be part of this, and indeed he is, and his team, and we couldn't be happier. So it hasn't stopped. It's just been flat out from there on.
I'm sure it's keeping you hopping across the country too.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit 100,000 miles this year, Scott.
That's crazy.
And I'm a bit old for this, but you know what? I feel I'm past the 5 number now, and I'm into the low 5s, and but I feel like I'm mid 3s, so it's good. It's a lot of fun. It's invigorating, and it's just a tremendous team to work with, and what I really love the most. I just love talking to people about it and the way they engage. If they're seriously interested, they step up. If they find a way to step up, that's really how it's worked. some people like it, and some, but for various reasons, volume and so on, can't do it right now. But boy, I'll tell you, it's nice to just get the reaction that we get, and it's so fresh and it's new, and it's you talk about CRM, and CRM is important. We've got to outrun the guy next to us, and the bankers and the folks that are the online people, all of that. We've got to do better. And one of the ways we do it, of course, is we build relationships in our community and we contact people and we do the best we can at that. But I'll tell you what, when you can call somebody up and say, come on in and talk to me about an unsecured line of credit, as opposed to Happy Valentine's Day, or don't forget to move your clocks ahead, or, here's a recipe. And, I'm not belittling, but I helped manage, Invis for 10.5 years. I helped Dominion Lending, move the company ahead, but it's tough. It's tough now with technology and social media to distinguish, to stand out. And I think that's why our idea is just being absolutely embraced.
Right. And so what you said that originally there were some products you guys had developed. So what products, can you share a couple of the things that you guys currently have, that the people with the CFF franchises have access to?
I'd be happy to. Our signature product is our Easy One account. It's becoming a little bit legendary out there as people try to access our products that through our agents and owners across the country. But the Easy One is an unsecured line of credit. It's available from $5,000 to $25,000. There's a Beacon score that's predicated on, the pricing is predicated on Beacon score and the BNI score. It's stated income. It's in and out, and there's a back process, but we definitely are fulfilling and providing answers to mortgage brokers' customers at a rapid rate. So that's really good. It's attached to a checking account with no fees. Absolutely zero fees. It's attached to that checking account has a debit card on the Interact system as well as the exchange network. So when you have an exchange machine, you are no fees. You're like your home rink, if you will. So it's a terrific product. It's and then when you're in the savings portion with the high interest savings portion attached to it, it's $1, and that's currently at 2.2%. So and we're promoting that rate virtually all the time. So it's just a terrific account that meets the needs of the borrowing Canadian or the saving Canadian. So it's a great product, and very topical for us right now. We're just about to do a campaign in the next couple of weeks as the banks raise implement fees in terms of their seniors, in terms of basic accounts. All of it is going up, or fees are being added, and we're going the other way. So we're the little bank that could, and that's a great product. On top of that, we have a TFSA, we have RSP, of course, we have RSP loans, GICs, and the standalone high interest savings account, all available today. And that's our mantra right now. It's mortgages and retail products. And then, as we go, we'll add car loans and commercial accounts, and we'll branch out from there. Everything that you would get in your local credit union or bank branch will be available through CFF on a B2B basis. You'll have to deal with a CFF agent or owner in order to access the product as a Canadian customer.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I've heard lots of good things about the unsecured line of credit from Peter Mathan. He was sharing some of that with me. So where do you think is the biggest opportunity for brokers in the next couple of years for the broker business?
I think the broker business is the biggest opportunity. I think that has to continue to be the relationship. And I think setting aside our concept, which I'll stop showing now for a second, I think if brokers are going to outpace, we've got to get over this pricing thing, and we've got to, contrary to, I'm sure some people you've interviewed, I think we have to stand up. We have to stand up and be counted in terms of our value. And that means we've got to do more for our customers. So it might be CFF, or maybe it's partnering with a good insurance option and finding people to partner with that are going to add more value. Whether it's an appraiser, a lawyer, there's any number of ways that you've got to add value, but you've got to build a relationship. If you think back and if you think you can sit back, as we did through the early 2000s, mid 2000s, and the phone will ring for just about anybody. Those days are gone. The days are gone. The basket is tight. But I'm forever an optimist, not smart enough not to be one. Go out, and I would say to any mortgage broker, you've got to go out and you've got to differentiate yourself. And I'll tell you what, the people that embrace the business, and we were talking about someone earlier offline, the people that embrace the business, that go out and really, earn the relationship, are the ones that are still doing extremely well, no matter what the hurdles that are put in front of them. Like the B20, the B21, and whatever B number is coming up next. It's not going to get any easier. The other thing you need to do as a mortgage broker, if you aren't already, you should be looking at trailer income. You should be looking at your book of business based on a cradle to grave philosophy. And you should be dealing with institutions that allow you to partner with them. And again, I'm not talking about CFF. Let's take CFF out of the equation. There are companies out there, however, ours is one of them, that will partner with you and allow you to do what you do best and not take the customer away. And I think that's absolutely important. If you think that you can get by going forward, living on a one-time payment, which is in some cases what it works out to be, that's folly. And there's just the business is too commoditized. The banks are finding ways to go after your customer, and so we've got to be well aware of that. And so that's the opportunity. It still comes down to there's no silver bullet. You can't buy this solution at 3 a.m. on the internet or on TV. You've got to go out and work for it. But you got to have real relationships. I think the days of I think of Peter Mason, one of our great leaders at CFF. I mean, Peter's built a business where he's buy referral only. But if you're 30 years old and you're in this business and you want to be in it long term, better be out there building those relationships. And that's what Peter did in the early days in order to get where he's at today.
Totally agree. And so there is no magic elixir, as you're saying, that increases your helps you grow hair, increases your credit score, and grows your mortgage business. If there was, I would definitely buy it.
Well, yeah, you know what? And I'm sure that I'm never the technician. I'm always building my solutions for people and through that, attitudinal. I think that, attitude is everything, and passion for the business is everything. And I look at the strong technicians, and there are some out there, and there's the scientists in our business, but they're usually outpaced, I hate to say it, 5-10 times by the people that are relationship builders. They get out and they figure out how to partner with people and bring, you can absolutely build process, and you can build smoother process, and technology will help you do that, but it does not replace what mortgage brokers do. If you're going to do that, if you think that's the answer, then you will be replaced. If you think that it's just all technology that's going to get you there, you'll be out. You've got to do. Computers are fine, technology is fine. I love social media for an old guy. I'm quite involved in it. But at the end of the day, you got to sell. You got to tell people what you are about, who you are, and why they need to do it. And I think human beings, as long as they emote, human beings emote, they're going to want to find each other to find a solution.
Totally agree. Well, Gord, I really appreciate your time today. Where can people find you online?
You can find us online at cffbank.ca, and certainly love to hear from anybody at Dahlen at CanadianFirst.com.
And anybody listening to this can get show notes and links to Gord and at ilovemortgagebrokering.com. Gord, I hope you continue to grow CFF and crush the rest of your year.
Thanks so much, Don. Listen, I really appreciate it. I love what you're doing. You're standing out and making a difference, and I totally appreciate that. And I'm really honored to be on here with you today. Thanks again.
Cool. Thanks.
Where the best mortgage brokers get better. I Love Mortgage Brokering with your host, Scott Peckford.
Hey, Broker Nation, Scott Peckford here. Have you joined our VIP club for mortgage brokers yet? If not, you're missing out. We share exclusive content not available on the web or the show. We share scripts, step-by-step guides, and other insider tips to help you save time and make you more money. I can't tell you how many times after I turn off the recorder, a guest starts sharing some awesome advice or a script or a tip, and I take the best of this and share it with my VIPs. If you want to get on the list, visit ilovemortgagebrokering.com/VIP. That's ilovemortgagebrokering.com/VIP. Oh, and one other thing. Since this is exclusively for mortgage brokers, there is a skill testing question. Good luck, and I hope you continue to rock your mortgage biz.